This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Frieden, North Haven's first Selectman, and welcome to our February Board of Selectmen meeting. I'm joined, as always, by our second Selectman, Mr. William Piper, and our third Selectwoman, Ms. Sally Boemi. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'd like to start by asking everyone to stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 2, any public comments to the agenda? All right, seeing none. Item number 3, approval of the minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting of January 2nd.
I will move the approval of those minutes.
Look at one thing, I'm sorry. Just wanted to relook at one thing. I'll second that motion by Sally.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Item number 4, the approval of the minutes of the special Board of Selectmen meeting budget workshop of January 6th.
I'll move the approval of those minutes that are not very lengthy.
Okay. All right. Do we have
Tell
a
us what
motion?
time we started and what time we ended.
Okay.
Very accurately.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Sally.
Yep, those are pretty easy. That's a pretty easy set of minutes to
Do
second.
you want to read that, Bill? Yeah, okay, all
We had
right.
a budget workshop that started at 8:06 and we completed it at 10:03 a.m.
Yeah,
All right,
So
so
I'll
we have a
second.
motion and we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye. All right, item number 5, just for the public here and those watching on TV. At various points, not too often during the course of the year, this Board of Selectmen has to go into executive session to discuss some very important town business. So we, for those here in the audience, we don't know how long this is going to take. For those watching on TV, what you will see is we go into executive session, and then you will see quickly us coming back here a lot more quickly than we may be in executive session due to the fine work of North Haven TV. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I want to let everyone know this could be a while in executive session. So with that being said, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Could you please invite Attorney Ryan and Ed Swinkowski?
And we'd like to invite Attorney Ryan and Ed Swinkowski. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for the Board of Selectmen to include Attorney Ryan and Finance Director Swinkowski.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, thank you for your patience. We're out of executive session now, and we're on item number 6. So I'd like to entertain a motion regarding the approval of the agreement that has been ratified by the Department of Public Works and the Public Works contract that we discussed in executive session. Is there a motion to accept?
I'll motion to accept.
Second?
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Sally and Bill, for your time in executive session. All right, Sally, if you would, read item number 7.
Sure. Number 7, resolve that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of North Haven hereby endorse the South Central Regional Council of Governments, SCROG, Regional Performance Incentive Program, Proposals 1, Regional Cybersecurity Initiative, and 2, School Waste Diversion Pilot Program, authorizing SCROG to apply for funding under RPIP and authorizing SCROG to enter into any required contract and/or agreement should the proposals be selected for an RPIP award, all as referenced in Connecticut General Statute Section 4-124S.
Okay. So what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is, SCROG is an acronym for the South Central Regional Council of Governments. I happen to be vice chairman of the SCROG, the South Central Regional Council of Governments. And periodically, what we do in our Council of Governments, the South Central region has 15 cities and towns that are part of this SCROG, or COG as we call it. Periodically, the Council of Governments apply for grants. So on the cybersecurity grant application, it would be a grant for $785,000 that we're moving forward with the Council of Governments. As we speak, every city and town, the 15 that I mentioned in the Council of Governments, are putting these resolutions on either their boards of selectmen or their town councils. And we anticipate fully that they will be voted on. The advantage of this is this helps if, by securing the grant, it helps each municipality identify the holes, if any, in the framework of our cybersecurity plans by municipality. So in the preparation for the grant, there's a survey done which allows us to know what our score is in terms of the vibrancy or the robust nature of our cybersecurity. You've seen across the state, there's been municipalities who have been hacked. This develops a comprehensive plan for each municipality to look at to identify any holes that we may have that could be exploited by malware, phishing, and other dubious activities that are happening across the country in all realms of business, including government. So this resolution is designed for $785,000 for the Council of Governments. With respect to the food waste, 40% of food is wasted across the country throughout homes, institutions, governments, businesses. So the goal is, one of our goals at the state level is to reduce food waste by 50% and up to 60%. And that's an initiative that we're working on regionally and at a state level. So this grant's for $420,000. And basically it's a study that'll be done to identify ways to reduce food waste, whether they be in our school systems, in cafeterias that we may have there, or in certain parts of our governments. So that's why I think these are two very important grants. There's no cost to the municipalities, and Council of Governments has the strength, the aggregate strength of 15 municipalities to perhaps get these grants. And that's where we're at.
So there's, in terms of some of the materials you I think gave us, there's 20 schools in the region. So they would come to all 20 schools if the grant was done to do the studies?
They'd pick 20 schools, yes, and they'd come to those 20 schools.
Which could include, which would
Yes.
include some schools in North Haven.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be like that we would get funding for this in each school. They would actually,
Yes.
this is a state program or a national or a federal program?
Well, I think it's a federal program through the state that all the Council of Governments are applying for. So, and periodically what we'll see, because we're really active on this regionally, we're going to see more and more of these types of grant applications to come forward. And for the towns and cities who are part of these COGs, these Council of Governments, there's only upside to it because there's no cost for us, and it helps us examine ways to improve efficiencies and protect ourselves from a technological standpoint on cybersecurity.
I'm glad that it is in the schools and it seems to encourage student participation and student awareness and donating food. You said the grant is coming from the state?
I'm not really sure.
The
I think
feds.
we're applying, I think, with the state, through the state with the feds.
Now, you said the 400, for the school portion of this, the 420,000, this says is a grant in order to conduct a school. It's not just for a study, because people get a little discouraged when they hear, oh, this much money for study. Study to a lot of people means it's not really, I mean, I realize you have to study an issue, obviously.
But
and
it's a
analyze
study
it.
to produce recommendations.
Right, but is it just a study, or, because this says 420,000 to conduct a the program, so it looks like it's studying it and starting it as well. It's not
Recommending and
just
starting.
all, I mean, I'm
Right.
more in favor of it if it's, effectuating the recommendations of the study and not just the study itself. Is that how you're reading this?
Yeah,
I mean, you're more familiar with this than I.
So here's how I read it.
Okay.
It's a positive. In order to move forward with identifying ways to reduce food waste, this is the mechanism to do so. So I'm not concerned with the exact details of what they're going to do. This is a positive for us. By getting a grant, they're going to do the study and they're going to propose the recommendations. And that's a positive for us if we're part of this, so.
No, I agree, and as I said, I like that it's in the schools and it's encouraging students' participation and whatnot, but I do like a little detail, so, okay, I mean, this isn't costing us anything, and I think the goals of both grant initiatives are positive. There's a lot of training involved on the cybersecurity as well. There's a
Right.
training element, which I think is very important. So, okay.
And Bill, to his credit, has been sending me articles that he's come across, some of which I haven't seen, in terms of cybersecurity hackings across the country. He's been very good at that, sending me that. So then, that all happened before this bill on the grant possibility, so.
And on the other side too, at the bottom, I'm not sure, I just had, as Sally was asking questions, I had a chance to read on the bottom of the, in terms of the food waste diversion program. It does sound like that they would help us set up pilot programs. I know there's been recent action at the federal level maybe to change the, some of the school lunch programs, or cut back, and one of the reasons is because so much food is wasted. As they've tried to give kids healthier menus, there's been a lot of increased waste, and hopefully maybe something like this would hopefully reduce the waste that happens in school food programs. So even though you can give kids healthier menus, sometimes and having my own kids when they were younger, kind of resist sometimes eating vegetables and fruit as much as they should. But again, in terms of there's I think the pilot programs they're going to set up would result hopefully in reduction of waste or recovery of some of the waste, and it says diversion of the waste into things like animal feed, compost, and energy generation. So as opposed to just going into the garbage. So hopefully it'll actually reduce waste, and for what waste there is, maybe come up with recycling for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So we read the resolution. Can I entertain a motion to accept?
I'll make a second I'll second the,
Well, I'll make a motion for the resolution as I read it.
and then I'll second Sally's motion.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item number 6, just one major announcement. I recently announced a record grand list growth here in North Haven of 9.8%. You'll hear more about that as time goes on. So that's the only thing under item number 6. That grand list growth.
Item 8.
I'm sorry?
Item 8.
Oh, item 8,
Item
I'm sorry.
6 is
Yes.
way up there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Item 8. All right, so let's move to item number 9, appointments and resignations. Bill and Sally, if you can handle this.
Right, first we have, I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Robert Hannon, 26 Highland Park Road, from the Zoning Board of Appeals, term to expire December 5th, 2021.
So Bob resigned from this ZBA because we appointed him last month to the Police Commission.
Right.
And thank you, Bob, for your service on ZBA. We look forward to your continued service. You already had one meeting on the Police Commission, so we look forward to your continued service. All right, so,
I'll second the motion.
all right, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next.
I'll make a motion regarding the resignation of Karen M. Genovese, 1322 Ridge Road, from the Zoning Board of Appeals, term to expire December 5th, 2021.
Karen resigned after many years, did an outstanding job on this, and due to her other requirements and commitments that she has decided to resign. And we're going to miss her, but we understand that life moves on. And Karen, thank you very, very much for all your service. So can I have a motion to accept that?
Bill made the motion, and I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will make a motion for the appointment of Richard Monaco to the Open Space Advisory Committee with the recommendation of the Board of Finance for a one-year term to expire December 31st, 2020.
Okay, so this is a requirement that a member of the Board of Finance has to sit on open space. That's a commission that I recommissioned about 5 years ago. They're doing an outstanding job in identifying opportunities. This was voted on by the Board of Finance, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Well, second.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next.
Next on the list is, I'm just looking at, is very, the great resume that this gentleman has. I'll motion to appoint, the appointment of Peter S. Sandor as an alternate to the Quinnipiac Valley Health Department Board of Directors to fill the unexpired term of Thomas Mitchell, term to expire June 20th, 2020.
I'll second.
Thank you, Peter, for your willingness to serve. You're part of Quinnipiac University. You have a remarkable resume and background, and you're the exact type of individual that we had been looking for to sit on the Quinnipiac Valley Health District Board. Thank you for your service in this current capacity. So we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next.
For this one, I'm going to have to, for the appointment of Carolyn Yacarino, I'm going to have to recuse myself.
okay.
I have great confidence in Ms. Yacarino's abilities to serve in this capacity. However, per 30-4 subsection C of our Code of Ethics, as an attorney, I must recuse myself.
Okay. All right, so I'll make the motion to appoint Carolyn Yacarino, moving her from an alternate to a regular member. Bill, is there a second?
I'll second Carolyn's appointment.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those abstain? Valid. Okay.
Well, I'm not abstaining,
Okay.
I'm recusing. Big difference.
Okay, very good.
Make sure the minutes reflect
Yes,
my
I have it.
recusal. Thank you. Next, I will move for the appointment of Paul C. Sicarella Jr., 104 Kings Highway, to the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the unexpired term of Robert Hannon, term to expire December 5th, 2021.
Okay, Paul has expressed a desire to get involved with the town government through boards and commissions. We like that. We like when people like getting involved and want to get involved. So we have a motion for Paul. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right.
That motion.
So, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, property tax refunds.
I'll make a motion to approve the, excuse me, I must also recuse myself for the same reason from the property tax refunds.
Okay. So I'll make the motion to accept the property tax refunds.
Just making sure I don't have to do anything either. And I don't see any problem from my end seconding the motion.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, number 11.
I will make a motion to approve the bond release for PO6-34, which is 85 Defco Park Road, custom recycling, to release the entire bond balance in the amount of $20,000 with the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I reviewed the Land Use Office letter and report, and all conditions seem to be satisfied to the satisfaction of the town engineer and the Planning and Zoning Commission, so I would move for this release.
Yep, everything looks in order to me as well, and I'll second Sally's motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 12, the next regularly scheduled meeting of our Board of Selectmen is Thursday, March 5th at 7 PM. And before we move to public comment, Bill, did you have a question on the April meeting?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a conflict with the April meeting, which is actually earlier than I realized. And I think we would normally have the April meeting on April 2nd, Thursday, April 2nd. So I was hoping that, based on my lack of availability on that date, that if it's acceptable to Mike and to Sally, we could move it to an alternate date.
No. Yeah, I agree, and I
I know
agree,
you
of
do.
course I agree.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, definitely, of course, we agree.
Yes,
I
so that would
apologize for
be
the change.
we'd go with the next, to the 9th?
Yes.
That's perfectly good with me if it's, you know.
So before, well, I'm certainly on board, but Val, because you have access to my schedule there, if I can pull up my schedule here, okay? Just to make sure that there's no conflicts.
From a town standpoint, we only have, we have a Board of Education meeting that night, but
So there is a presentation I was supposed to be at the library that night, but I think I can certainly decline that invitation and come here to the Board of Selectmen meeting, Bill, okay? If that works for Sally, too.
Yes, the 9th is fine, it's good, it's after the budget public hearing.
Okay,
I might have something to say.
all right. So,
yeah, because we have the public hearing for the budget on the 7th.
Right.
So, well, I appreciate
said
I appreciate you both accommodating the change to move the meeting to
Sure.
the 9th.
All right, very good. So Val, April 9th, Thursday the 9th. All right, we're at the point, ladies and gentlemen, public comment. All right, hearing none, we'll call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right,
I'll second that
second,
motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.